Yokohama Cosmoworld might be one of the more well-known parks in Japan simply because of one ride in the park, Diving Coaster Vanish. And I have a full review of this ride on my channel, so be sure to go check that out if you want to know what the ride experience is really like. And that coaster is the primary reason why you'll want to visit this place. That being said, today I'm going to be talking about the park as a whole and the other attractions you might find here. So first things first, this place is located in Yokohama, Japan, right alongside the water. And I think one of the neatest things about it is surrounded by big, tall buildings. The park is in a fairly urban area, so it's very easy for you to walk from a downtown-like section of the city straight into the park. It's no big deal. The park doesn't have its own train station, but there are plenty of stations nearby where you don't have to walk very far to get there. This park is free to enter, and there are multiple ways that you can get in because the park is pretty much split into two different areas, and there is a canal running down the center. So you have one area on each side of the water, each offering different attractions. On one side, you have Diving Coaster Vanish, this massive observation wheel, a log flume, wild mouse, and that's kind of the largest area, but then on the other side, there's a small children's coaster, an ice house, and a few other small family rides. So because this park is free to enter, you're going to pay per ride. The main ticket booth is located in the center of the main park on ground level, and they have a sheet laid out explaining the different prices so you can pick what you want. So here's what I did. I paid for 5 different rides, the 3 coasters, the log flume, and the giant wheel. The observation wheel was 800 yen, 700 yen for diving coaster, and all in all, I paid a total of 2,800 yen, which is fairly close to 28 US dollars. So for 5 rides, I mean, it's not terrible, but it's definitely not great either, especially since you're only getting 1 ride on each. And I think because of the way they've set it up, it doesn't really encourage re-rideability. I'm sure there's a way that you can get a wristband to include unlimited rides, but if you're like us, only looking to do a select few amount of attractions, you're probably just better off paying per ride. Especially when something like diving coaster isn't very good, you probably will only want to do it once. But anyways, talking about the park itself, the place is pretty small. You'll find lots of different escalators and levels because they have a small amount of space to work with, so they built up. And you'll find different attractions on each level. And they have some neat little indoor areas. I mean, there's some games that you can play, a little indoor dark ride, just different things for you to walk around and check out. Though if I had to give a critique, there aren't really any food places here. So pretty much if you want food, you gotta go outside the park. Which, I mean, I think is understandable. The place isn't very big, so they'd rather fill it with rides, and they know that people probably won't be spending a lot of time here. Regarding a few of the outdoor attractions, the Wild Mouse here is located on the very top level, and I don't know what is wrong with this Wild Mouse, but it's supposed to spin, and most Wild Mouse coasters, they spin in the second half. This one doesn't spin until the very last section of track. Very strange. I don't know why it happens so late. There's a log flume here that runs throughout the park, and it interacts with Diving Coaster Vanish, which is pretty cool. I thought the funniest thing about this flume is that it has airport rollers on it, so it speeds up and has momentum before going into these drops. And you don't really get wet on it. After the last drop, there is a scream indicator to tell you how loud you were and if you rank in the top 5 for the day for loudest screams. We did not. And then of course, the last ride I mainly want to talk about here is their massive observation wheel. I believe it is the largest one in the world with a clock in it. And it's cool, once it gets dark, it has a neat light package. All of the cabins are air conditioned and just gives a great view of the surrounding area. When we were at the top, we saw a cruise ship departing. There's a huge port like right next to the park. So there's all these boats, and yeah, this massive cruise ship heading off to who knows where. It was neat. Anyways, all of those rides are located in the main section of the park. On the other side, they just have the Go Bananas coaster, an ice house, and a few other rides that we didn't bother doing. So all in all, Yokohama Cosmoworld is a fairly small park. I wouldn't say anything about it is very impressive. We mainly visited for Diving Coaster Vanish, and to me, this park just screams one and done. I don't really feel the desire to ever go back here again. Not because it was terrible or anything, but nothing about it really stood out to me, was outstanding, and because the place is so small, you don't need a lot of time here either. So am I glad I visited? Yeah, of course. Would I go back here? Probably not. Next time I'm in Japan, I'd much rather go somewhere else that I haven't been before, or someplace that really warrants going back to. Like, why would I go back here when I could go back to, say, Tokyo Dome City when I could ride Thunder Dolphin again? You see what I mean? So, in conclusion, I mean, yeah, go check this place out, maybe if you have some extra time to kill, or you really want to be able to say, yeah, I rode Diving Coaster Vanish. Just know it isn't really a good ride. So if you're really trying to have the best experiences while in Japan, I'd say just go somewhere else instead. But those are just my thoughts on Yokohama Cosmoworld and Yokohama, Japan. Let me know down in the comments below if you've been here, if you agree with what I have to say, if you're looking to visit Japan soon, if this video helped you. And of course, make sure to stay tuned for more park reviews here at Coaster Studios, and I'll see you next time.